Also making news, President Barack Obama made his choice for the next Supreme Court justice. His pick is a familiar face in the northern suburbs.
Mr. President, it's a great privilege to be nominated by a fellow Chicagoan. I am grateful beyond words for the honor you have bestowed upon me. Thank you.
Judge Merrick Garland was overcome with emotion over his nomination to sit on the high court. Garland grew up in north suburban Lincolnwood. He graduated from Lincoln Hall Middle School and Niles West High School. When he was 18, he was a presidential scholar and traveled to the White House to listen to an address by then-President Richard Nixon in the East Room. He then went to Harvard, where he was named valedictorian of his class. CBS 2's Vince Gerasoli spent the day talking to those who knew Garland well.
This is the greatest honor of my life, other than Lynn agreeing to marry me 28 years ago.
That the highly accomplished judge, Merrick Garland, choked back tears at his nomination came as no surprise to those who grew up with him at Niles West High School, where he was known for both his intellect and kindness.
Merrick was destined for great things, and this is just the culmination of that.
A defining moment came just before Garland's high school graduation address, when parents pulled the plug on the speaker before him, who criticized the Vietnam War.
But stirred by the sight of a fellow student's voice being silenced, he tossed aside his prepared remarks.
Merrick then gave a talk about the right to speech, and it was just a calming effect on the audience.
And he is so thoughtful, and he doesn't try to push his own agenda.
Former federal judge and U.S. Representative Abner Mikva met Garland when he was just 17 and volunteered for his congressional campaign. Their friendship has remained constant.
He's a public man. He believes in public service.
Mikva was not surprised Garland left a lucrative private practice to work as a federal prosecutor. Known for a calm, tolerant courtroom, he calls Garland a perfect judge.
That's the part that impresses me the most, is that he so respects and loves the institutions that make up our country.
When Mikva left the U.S. Court of Appeals in D.C. to serve in the Clinton White House, Garland eventually replaced him, part of the ties that bind them. In spite of Republican opposition, Mikva hopes that the Senate will come around to a confirmation hearing. And I love just one more private story. Mikva said that his wife was so impressed with Garland, she hoped that he would marry one of their daughters. Of course, he went on to marry Lynn, who he was teary-eyed about today, and they had 2 daughters.
Well, he's familiar here, and he's been on the radar, been on the short list before for this nomination, so a lot of buzz about this guy.
Yes, let's just see what happens in the weeks to come now.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Vince.
You can hear all the Judge Garland's speech and what he said about his parents and growing up in Lincolnwood. Just go to our website, cbschicago.com, for the entire announcement.